through the business pages of the Sunday papers now. I'm joined by the branding expert and former chair of Interbrand, Rita Clifton, and the managing director of Dedrill, Julie White, who I know who are sitting there. I mean, we'll talk about the papers in a moment, but listening to Cherie Blair there, I mean, that's fascinating. Did you know about the Loomba Foundation before?
I'd heard about it because I was with Cherie on a campaign about 6 months ago, and it's a fantastic what they're doing with mobile phones and with sponsorship. It's amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it seems to be making a real difference. Yeah. But one of the most important things is knowing about it in the first place and addressing it as an issue.
Absolutely, you need awareness. You need the sterilisation of sunlight, or whatever it is that
and getting out there and
phrase is.
Exactly. We've been talking about that a lot this morning, about letting the sunshine in. Let the sunshine into your paper review. Rita, kick us off first of all with one of the salient business stories. It's much discussed, of course, this Starbucks paying a first tax since 2008.
Absolutely.
Can you believe it?
Absolutely. Well, I think in the week after the G8, we have to say something about global corporations and tax avoidance. And as you'll see here, Starbucks have found a bit of loose change out of their back pocket to pay some corporation tax to HMRC. Now, the fact that they've talked about corporation, and I'm only joking on that, but the fact they've talked about corporation tax is very important here, because quite often this debate gets abbreviated to not paying any tax. But the truth is, these major companies, they do pay taxes in other ways. National insurance, for example, business rates, VAT. So it's not true to say that they don't pay corporation tax. So it is a really important issue, but I think also what's very important is that the UK has begun to look a little bit like. We like to do spanking of major global executives in front of the headmistress.
Yeah.
I mean, none of the committees and...
Do you think that's a bad signal to send out?
This is not a good signal for UK being a friendly place to do business. Even if it might be an easy vote winner, it is not good.
Julie,
and even though it's a bit like the stocks, putting business people in the stocks, it might be fun to do at the time, but it has a really damaging long-term effect.
I mean, do you think we're overdoing it, Julie?
I think so, because I think in Europe and even worldwide, some of the big businesses out there, the business owners, are actually looked very highly at. So as a business owner myself, not as big as Starbucks, you do get... Be. Oh, hopefully. You do get downtrodden, but we're doing our best. We're doing our best for our employees, we're doing our best for the economy, we're trying to drag ourselves out of this recession. So come on, let's boost some of these big businesses.
I mean, but it is, just to stay on that kind of double think, double speak, because, we have programmes on television, The Apprentice, lauding entrepreneurs, but you're right in a way, Rita, aren't you, as well? But if you become too successful, then we're going to beat up on you.
Yeah, we're well known for that in England, aren't we?
But you're talking about pantomime programmes here. I mean, whether it's The Apprentice or a bit of Dragon's Den, frankly, people are a bit play-acting the old villain. There aren't that many very positive programmes. I mean, in any American or Hollywood film, the villain will tend to be a big business person.
And usually English as well.
And usually with an English accent, it has to be said. So there's clearly some way to go, because we all do need successful businesses. They pay for an awful lot of what goes on in the world.
Well, let's talk about one, and Julie, you've highlighted this in the Telegraph's business, successful business there for Lady Astor.
Yeah, I've been a bit greedy. I've gone for two on the same page there. It's the profits of Lady Astor. Of course, we know that's David Cameron's mother-in-law. And really,
you can see the similarity there.
Yes, you can definitely.
With Sam.
Top hats and definitely top hat and tails for Ascot. So I was there at Ascot yesterday.
Hold on, what does she do? What does she do, Lady Astor?
Yes, she runs a very successful furniture and good, luxury brand kitchenware. So, and they've had a great year. They've gone from a small couple of £100,000 worth of profit to about 1.5 million in a year. So I mean, they've done really well. But again, it shows that they've done a real big drop in their stores. They haven't been able to expand the stores, and we know there's been quite a few of the big brands going from the high street, and they're doing more online. So really, it's to show that things are changing. Are we got enough money for these luxury things?
Maybe she can have a word with George Osborne when she's around having a pizza at number 10.
Yeah, and really, then it was Ascot, because I was there yesterday. I had a great day. Yeah, fantastic. Nice, big, but nice, lovely. And it's showing that they're not making a profit, even though they had a £135 million build, which Dedrill did a lot of drilling and cutting out on it. And they're actually taking out around about 30 of the boxes, because they're only about 90% full. So are we actually ever going to go back to the luxury spending that we did
So a
pre-recession.
sign there that was still, I mean, it looked pretty packed when you watch it on TV. I didn't go, but you're saying some of the boxes were empty.
Yes.
Well, I don't know why they're short of money. They made enough out of me.
Yeah, well, and me. But they've not made a profit since they've opened.
But you know, we do posh luxury very well in
Oh,
Britain.
yes, definitely.
We do
definitely.
good posh luxury brands, and they succeed on a global stage, and we need a lot more of them, frankly.
Okay, Rita, what have you got for us next then? Another big empire there.
Yes,
We've got Yoda illustrating it. It's Vodafone.
Yes, now really interesting here. And what's interesting is a couple of things. Number one is that at the moment Vodafone are talking to a German cable company about a takeover bid. And also because it illustrates how quickly markets and categories change these days. I mean, the blurring of categories. So a few years ago it was all about mobile. It was all about mobile phone operators, and fixed line was for the birds. Yeah. Whereas of course now the categories have blurred. People like to bundle their services together to simplify their lives. So of course Vodafone have to rethink about, you know, what the basis of their business and their brand is. And this just goes to show that increasingly in this world, because of the blurring of categories, I mean, Apple have played this brilliantly over the years. It understood how all the different categories were blurring and touching, and they focused on the brand. Now, if you focus on the brand and what the brand is trying to do for people, then you start thinking about, well, what kind of business model do you need to deliver that?
If they trust the brand, they'll go along with you. It's
That's
trust.
right, exactly. So, for example, with Nokia, that was just a manufacturer of handsets. Now, the brand was about connecting people. What a great idea that could have been for making sure they were building a business
just getting back to
belief.
Vodafone, I mean, it's been said that their advertising is a bit hit and miss, you know, with Yoda in there, they're not really getting the brand across.
Well, the thing about Vodafone, it's a business that's grown by a lot of acquisition, and when you grow by a lot of acquisition, you've got to do a lot with the staff who understand what you're trying to do, how your brand is unique. I mean, we all ought to be proud of Vodafone, because frankly it's one of the handful of world-class British-based businesses that's succeeding
well, it's another
on a
one
global
that's been in the dock a little bit over its tax affairs, hasn't it? Last quick one, Julie. You've got this revving up the car industry.
Yes.
I mean, is it? I can't work it out. Is the car industry doing well, or isn't it? Because we're hearing car sales are dropping, yet British industry is
I'm from
doing quite
Coventry,
well.
where the Jaguar Land Rover headquarters is. So you know, this is a big boost for the Midlands instead of the Westminster, London bubble that everyone seems to live in. And I mean, they're doing fantastic. It wasn't long ago, a decade ago, that they were actually asking to be bailed out, our car industry, and now it's doing really, really well. I mean, and also we have to figure out now, and the government has to really, really look at, is the training side of it now. Are we going to have enough people, enough apprentices, enough people coming through skilled to keep this growth going? Because I know Rita's going to talk about brands later on, but it's a great brand.
I'm not sure I am.
Because we're out of time, but thank you for talking about them already. Branding, manufacturing, that's what we want to hear.
Nice British-based brands, but it'd be nice having more British-based businesses who are doing those brands.
But
these aren't owned.
But they employ 700,000 people in our country, 10% of exports.
Let's hear it for them. Okay, Rita, Julie, thank you both very much indeed. Very good to see you. Cut you off in your prime there. And